When a steering wheel feels loose, it means that the steering has more play or movement than it should have prior to the wheels turning. It can feel wiggly or turn more readily before the wheels react when the steering wheel is loose. This extra play or looseness can make the steering feel unresponsive, vague, and less conducive to driver control. Additionally, the steering wheel's lack of precision and rigidity is frequently a sign of more serious issues with the steering system. Let's examine some of the most typical causes of a loose steering wheel and how to properly diagnose the problem to avoid replacing unnecessary parts. It's Max the Car Guy. Subscribe and let's get started. Loose steering nut. The issue is most likely a loose steering nut if the steering wheel is actually loose rather than just feeling loose. The steering nut, which physically fastens your steering wheel to the steering column, is located behind or beneath the airbag. Although it doesn't happen often, the steering nut occasionally comes loose. The good news is that if this is what's happening, it's fairly simple to figure out and fix. Worn ball joints. The steering system of a typical car contains numerous ball joints. Movement is made possible without metal-on-metal contact thanks to ball joints, which serve as a buffer. Ball joints are a very efficient part, but they deteriorate over time. The lifespan of a ball joint is typically 70,000 to 150,000 miles. Replace them as soon as this starts to occur because failing to do so could cause other steering parts to become damaged, cause the steering wheel to feel loose. Worn or broken Pitman arm. The steering gear shaft is connected to the steering linkage by the Pitman arm. It is a very strong component because it physically connects to the equipment. A Pitman arm typically lasts the lifetime of a car, but if one does start to deteriorate, it can cause everything to feel a little sloppy and impair steering. Worn or damaged rack and pinion. When you turn the steering wheel, a rack that moves from side to side is connected to a pinion gear that rotates along with the steering shaft. The rack typically attaches directly to the tie rod ends. A typical rack and pinion has a lifespan of between 100,000 and 150,000 miles, but it is not impervious to leaks or damage. Worn tie rods. The rack and pinion in your car, which is connected to the hub by tie rods, is largely responsible for turning the wheel. The ball joints on the tie rods may begin to deteriorate over time, which could cause the steering system to have more play than usual. This will be felt in the steering wheel, and it can impair steering and hasten the deterioration of other parts. The steering wheel may shake at high speeds or make noises when turning if you have a tie rod problem. How to diagnose. Now that you have a better understanding of the potential causes of a loose steering wheel in your car, it's time to begin investigating the issue to determine the precise cause. If there is a problem at all, that is the first thing you need to rule out. There may not necessarily be a problem if the steering wheel has some play. If the play, however, is greater than 1 inch, you should investigate it. If you haven't driven the car before, you probably know how the steering wheel should feel. If that feeling starts to change, it's best to be safe and have someone else check it out. How to fix. The first thing you should do is rule out a physically loose steering wheel. The issue is most likely a loose steering nut if the steering column doesn't move when the steering wheel does or if it feels shaky. Once that is ruled out, the issue is most likely with one of the steering system's parts. The best thing you can do is independently troubleshoot each component to rule it out because rack and pinions, ball joints, and tie rod ends all have distinctive symptoms that let you know there is a problem. The Pitman arm would be the least likely to have a problem, so unless all the other parts return functioning as they should, don't worry about it. Hope the information was helpful for you. If so, please press the like button and subscribe to the channel. You can also tip me on a cup of coffee. All links are in the description below the video.